This is the Hope Not Nope podcast,
where we answer your questions and share inspirational stories to fill your soul with hope.
Our mission is to empower hope to those who have been plagued by nope.
I'm Dr. Dylan Caswell.
And I'm Brandy.
And we're here to bring you out of the nope and into hope.
Welcome to the Hope Not Nope podcast, first episode of 2026.
Hello.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, you're seeing something a little bit different. If you're on Apple or Spotify, hopefully you're hearing something a little bit different. And that's because we're in the process of a new move, new space, new look, refocus of Hope Not Nope as a whole. But we didn't want to wait until we were 100% ready because, one, we missed you guys. And two, we want to get content out to you as the new year begins. And so over the next couple of weeks, you may hear and see some changes, and that's all for the better as we uplift our look and our direction with Hope Not Nope.
Yeah, and the sound.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's clearer, crisper.
Yeah, we have new mics.
New microphones, learn new things.
Yeah.
And it's just, you just grow. You grow and you want to serve better. And part of that is getting better equipment so that it can get across better, and also serving who you serve the best. And that's kind of what we figured out moving into 2026 is what Hope Not Nope's mission is and always has been, but also who we serve the best. Mm-hmm. I think you start off and you want to serve everybody in the world, and then you start to realize that although you want to serve everybody, you cannot serve everybody. You can love everybody, but you can't serve every single person well with what you're offering. And we've really found that we work the best with high performers, meaning not just athletes, but anyone that has a high performance goal, spirit, mind, body, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's family, but it extends more or more broad than just in sport. And we're looking forward to bringing the high performance lessons that we've learned more into the podcast, using the strategy of hope, self-agency goals, and a framework.
Mm-hmm. I think for Dylan especially, you have the background in physical therapy as a doctorate. You have the sports specialization. And so a lot of our episodes up into this point, and we've had over 100 episodes, I haven't done the math, but I'm assuming half, anywhere between 40 and 60% were probably more body oriented. It was a lot more injury focused, what to do to hit a physical athletic goal. And not that that's going away 100% by any means, but this redirection, this refocus that Hope Not Nope, we've really prayed and pondered and worked together for 6 months, if not all of last year, to really refocus our direction of who we serve best and how hope as a strategy can best empower the people that we serve best. And we found the high performance people, especially that they don't have complacency. You know, I don't think that somebody with complacency would do well with the message that we're getting across. You say it best. Like, it's not that complacency is a bad thing by any means. Like, if that's your goal, great. That may not be why you would be listening to us, though.
Yeah. And I remember in the month of November, December, looking back at a journal entry from earlier in the year and just answering the question, who do we serve best? And in that, and I also wrote, what sets my soul on fire and serving other people. And what I wrote was that when I'm able to see the potential in other people and not just see it, but help guide them for them to reach their potential and realize their potential, that's to me that is the coolest thing to do. And so why not do more of that when it's so needed? And it's the people that we work with the best. So you might be listening and go like, well, am I a high performer? Yeah, if you have a goal and you want to go achieve that goal, you can be a high performer. Mm-hmm. And we're going to help get you to that point. If you're already a high performer, we can keep elevating that level of performance.
Mm-hmm. When I think of potential, I think of what a gift it is to believe in someone and to be believed in. And that's really what we're doing is with the resources that we provide, with the strategy and the framework of hope and what goal self-agency and frameworks and pathways to achieve those goals really is. Like, it's allowing us to give you a tangible way for us to say, hey, we believe in you. Now go believe in yourself and achieve and be elite and go max out the potential that God created you with and for.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better.
Shall we jump into our question?
Let's jump into it. But before we
Oh,
jump into it,
pause.
quick shout out,
Oh.
right? At the end of the year, you can always look at these Spotify wrapped packages. I don't know what you call it. Spotify wrapped.
Yeah.
Where it's, artists that you listen to, top songs that you listen to. Well, they also do this for podcast, and on the analytics side with hosting a podcast, you get to see what country your podcast is listening to, the demographic of the listeners and all that. And we were both shocked that the number one listening country for the Hope Not Note podcast of 2025 was France.
France.
So shout out to our French listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. I took a little bit of French in high school, and I know enough that I can say some things that typically when I try it, the French people go, thanks for trying. It's kind of insulting, but good effort on it. But thank you to the French listeners in America. This is your call to step it up.
Step it up for 2026. Let's send the podcast to more American listeners.
Yeah.
But also French listeners.
Yeah.
You're all welcome. Let's be real.
Yeah.
For any of our new listeners, before we jump in, just want to give you a little bit of a background of Hope Not Nope. This podcast specifically answers your questions. And so anything that we've shared so far, especially with the high performance goal in mind, if you have a question related to that within your own personal life, submit the question, because each episode we answer your questions. You can submit it on hopenotnope.org. You can comment on our YouTube videos. You can even direct message us on Instagram. All of those are ways that you can ask us the question, and we'd love to feature it in a future episode. And then at the end of each episode, we do share a hope story that we have experienced in our own lives, or hope stories that people like you have shared with us. And so that's kind of the format of the Hope Not Nope podcast.
I cannot wait to share my hope story today.
Ooh, now I'm excited. I'm excited for the question, but I can't wait to get to the hope story then.
Intentional teaser.
Ooh, dun dun dun. Our question for the first episode of 2026 is, I set a new goal for the new year, but I'm realizing my biggest struggle is with consistency. How can I be more consistent? And before you answer, Dylan, I just want to say that the best way to be consistent is to do something that's meaningful to you. Do you really want it? Do you actually want it? Is that thing meaningful to you? And if it is, it's going to have less friction in order for you to be consistent.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have other thoughts, but that was my biggest thought, was like, make sure it's meaningful to you.
Make sure you want it.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do the thing, make sure you want to do the thing. Because if other people want it for you more than what you want it for yourself, they're gonna get frustrated and you're gonna burn out. And that doesn't lead to consistency. That leads to not wanting to do it and achieving it. So definitely make sure that it's something that you want to do. And when we look at the strategy of hope, the goal set, that's awesome. So why do we set a goal? Because the goal gives us an aiming point. And what we're after is now the outcome of how close we can get to that aiming point, or if we can surpass that aiming point, right? So we set the goal, you set the goal, that's awesome. That shows that there's agency there. Now there's that next step of agency of, do you want this? And I'm assuming that you do, but just again, pause and ask yourself like, oh, this is a goal that I want. Other people may want it for me, but I also want it for me. So then 3 is we have to start looking and say, well, what's the framework of consistency for you to then have the agency to reach that goal, to have the outcome that you desire? Consistency is very intertwined with commitment. If you're committed, then you can be more consistent. But in order to be committed, you have to understand what the cost is to achieve that goal. And I don't mean just financial cost, because most goals do come with some type of financial cost to it, but the sacrifice. Are you willing to look at your habits? Are you willing to look at your schedule? Are you willing to say no to some things so that you can become focused on being committed to then be consistent. And so oftentimes when people say, yes, I have this goal. Okay, you want this goal. Awesome. Here's what it takes. Here's the steps that it takes. And I think Coach Nick Saban, when he was with the University of Alabama, believe it or not, he did this with every player that came into that program. Freshmen, and then he revisit that with sophomores, seniors, juniors, anyone coming in, anyone that was with the team. What do you want to get out of this? What are your goals? And often they'd say, well, I want to go to the NFL. And he would lay out to them, okay, here's what you need to do to make it to the NFL. So if you want to do it, here's the framework. Are you willing to do what it takes to get there? Yes. Okay. So show me that you can do that in this next year. And then we'll revisit this conversation the next year and see, do you still want to do this? Because here's the cost. And then once you know that cost up front, then you can make a more informed decision that you want to be committed to it, which then will lead to consistency.
I love the language, like, are you willing to do whatever it takes to achieve the goal at hand? Because I think that sometimes people set a goal, but then they don't analyze what it takes.
Yeah.
And then they either fall short or they lose motivation or they become complacent because they didn't properly assess what it took to achieve the goal at hand. And so really asking yourself, like, do you really want it? And are you willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that goal?
Yeah. And then once you're aware of what it takes to reach that, because a lot of times there's just not that awareness piece of all that has to go into go reach this high performance type of goal. And of course, in that framework, we're going to start with some smaller wins and build momentum across that, which is going to help with consistency. So, hey, yeah, if you have a high performance, big level goal, like you're not going to go achieve it right now, but you can chip away and get a small win and then move towards it and decrease the friction in that. But just knowing, okay, this is the cost of it. Yes, I understand the cost, which means I'm now going to get into the second point that I would make with this, which is to prioritize it. You know what it costs, you know you want to achieve it. So now can it become a priority? Different people are at different stages in their lives with different responsibilities. So a goal may sound great and they might see the cost and go, yep, I can do that. But then they look at the other responsibilities that they have on their plate and they're like, yeah, no, that's my goal. I understand the cost, but I'm going to have to do it later because this is my priority of this morning, and this is my priority in the afternoon, and this is my priority at nighttime. So if there's time left, then I'll start chipping away at the cost of doing that goal. And then we have to look at it and say, I just think we have to change the goal because what you currently have going on in your life, you're not able to put this as a priority, which is okay, but let's not set up a false reality and make you think that you can achieve that if you're not able to prioritize it because of different life circumstances.
Right. Or if you are able to prioritize it, but you recognize that there's a lot of sacrifices that are going into you prioritizing this thing. And remember, it's sacrifices that you have to make, but also, especially if your goal affects people in your family and in your immediate family or just other people in life, like if other people have to make sacrifices in order for you to prioritize this goal, make sure to check in with them to one, make sure that they're okay with you prioritizing this goal and sacrificing, whether it be like time with that person or whatever it may be. But then also, if they're willing to sacrifice with you and have you have this as a priority, see if they'll be an accountability partner or like Dylan likes to talk about in the book, the Simba Cam Friend.
Simba Cam Friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. What's the Simba Cam Friend?
It's the friend that lifts you up.
Yeah. If you ever been to a game and you see the Simba Cam going around and you lift up and you celebrate that person, that's your Simba Cam Friend.
Yeah.
And you want that person to be your accountability partner, not in the sense of, hey, go do it.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna fire you up and give you a hype speech.
Yeah, they're not your coach.
No, but they're just checking in.
Yeah.
Like they're the person you're spending time with, and there might be a time that you're like, man, I want to give myself a pass and miss that.
Make an excuse.
Yeah. And that accountability partner just goes, hey, are you sure that that's what you want to do? And it just takes that moment to make you think and go, crap. no, it's not what I want to do. I just gave
Mhm.
into that temptation of that. And they help you to get rid of excuses, but then you can help yourself to not have these excuses. If you're saying that you're committed and you know the cost of it and you're prioritizing it, and then you're making excuses, well, now we have to challenge, well, what is your level of commitment?
Mhm.
Or do you have too many things on your plate that you're losing the ability to prioritize this thing? But the accountability partner, that's a Simba Cam friend that celebrates you, but also makes you reflect.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Get yourself a Simba Cam Friend.
Oh, you know what? I'm just thinking of this, like watching The Lion King. Who's holding up Simba?
Rafiki.
Rafiki. Who makes you reflect the most in that movie?
100%.
Rafiki.
Yeah.
So like, it's just that next level of a Simba Cam friend.
Mhm.
Of that Simba Cam friend should be like Rafiki.
Yeah, find yourself a Rafiki.
Yeah.
Now I want to go watch Lion King.
Oh, I love that.
So good. The live action,
I saw
so
this
good.
quick
The
quote
original,
earlier.
so good.
I saw this
Love Lion
I
King.
saw this quote earlier that seemed like a Rafiki kind of statement. That it sounded like a proverb, but it basically said, "Wisdom is chasing you, but you are faster."
That is very Rafiki. Love Rafiki.
Love Rafiki. So Simba Cam friend like that. And then the last thing I would say to help with consistency is forward thinking. You set the goal because reaching that goal, the outcome is a feeling that you want. It's something that you can you're predicting of what it would be like if you did it. And the celebration that would happen for yourself that you did this, the sacrifice, the nope that you went through to get the hope, the suffering that you went through to get the joy. Like you can predict that these things are going to happen. So you set it because you're after that thing. And you understand that you have to do the mundane to make the moment. And we talk about this with athletes all the time. Like training sessions are not fun. Watching film over and over and over again to look for tendencies of a particular offense or defense is not fun. But it leads to that moment, like our friend Tim Green, watching film over and over again, knowing this play, and then being able to sack Hall of Fame running back Emmitt Smith for a safety.
Mhm.
That moment came because of the mundane. But in that, the high performer knows that they're doing this hard work to have that moment. So it's worth it when you're in the trenches
Mhm.
that you are going, hey, I'm doing this to like have that celebration when it comes. And it helps keep you locked in when you want to give yourself the excuse, you want to give yourself the pass. And then the other way that you could frame this is you want to miss that session or that journal entry or whatever it may be that is in your framework to get you to where you want to be, but you're like, oh, man, it's late. I can just push this off till tomorrow. Well, now I want you to think of you don't reach the outcome and you had the resources to do so. You had the support to do so, but you just chose to not
Mhm.
do that. That's a crappy feeling.
There's I don't want to say there's no worse feeling, but that is one of the worst feelings of like the goal was right there and I just didn't do it.
I just didn't do it. And then you go back and you, oh, I'd work out more, I would journal more, I'd eat better, I'd do all those things. That opportunity might be gone.
Yeah.
And yeah, like redemption story, you can get back to it, maybe,
Mhm.
but like, why even have to go through that regret? Just if you want to do the thing, do the thing.
Yeah. I When I was in college, one of my favorite professors had us read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People,
Mm-hmm.
and one of those habits is to begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
And forward thinking reminds me a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
because without forward thinking, you don't have a vision of what the outcome could be.
Yeah.
And goal setting is almost like it feels weird to set a goal if you can't picture
Mm-hmm.
that goal, if you can't picture and have that forward thinking. And so I really think with goals, which is a pillar of hope, like you have to be able to forward think.
Yeah. Yeah, because like that is part of the process of setting that goal for yourself. It gives you the aiming point, but you want that aiming point because something has influenced you,
Mhm.
whether it's internally or externally, or hopefully both. Like, it's something that your soul desires, but then you also have external people saying like, hey, you can do that. Like, you want to achieve that, you can go do that. Here's how to do that. Great. Like that. And that's where we're moving in towards. And that's what gets us so excited, is to
Yeah.
be able to do that from the past decade of working with high performers
Mhm.
and learning what works for them, but also learning what tools they've used and how we can implement those with other people, because it's the passing it on to the next
Mm.
that makes this work so exciting.
Yeah, it's providential in a
Mhm.
lot of ways. Like, I believe that God has destined us for a very particular call, both as like husband and wife, but also like being partners in this
Mm,
work.
mhm.
And we're taking like one step into that, like one step more into that. And part of that is because we can forward think and we see the direction that he is calling us in, and we're able to use these tools of being consistent
Right.
moving forward. And so I hope that these like main points for consistency can allow you to see, not just like, I know you've already, like, for the person who asked the question, like, yes, you've already set the goal, but as a whole and for all of our listeners, God's providence and God's intention and destiny for you is very beautiful and very particular. So take a step back and forward think, like, what is that? What does that look like for you? And how can you consistently start pursuing that?
Yeah. And I'm going to add into that, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's just knowing that it takes consistent effort repetitively over time, uh, that's going to lead to that harvest that's there for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's there for you if you're willing to step into it and go for it. And it's not easy. It's what we call simple, not easy.
Yeah. Simple, not easy.
Simple, not easy.
But consistency is key. So why don't we do a little, just a quick recap of consistency? What our listeners need to carry consistency all the way through from now until December of 2026, and then for the rest of their lives.
Wow. So, okay, first, Brandy said that you have to want it. You
You,
have to want
you gotta want
you
it.
gotta want it. Do you want
It needs to be meaningful.
Do you want it?
Yes, I want it.
You gotta want it.
Yeah.
So it's got to be meaningful to you, and that's a major component. That's the agency component. To knowing the cost of it up front. Of, I have this big goal. This is what it's going to cost to get there. I'm going to start chipping away at it, and having the realistic expectation of it, so you don't have a false framework or false hope going into it. Doing that then allows you to set the priority, and then once you have that priority set, it inhibits or decreases the likelihood that you're going to make excuses to get yourself out of there. And that too, get yourself Rafiki, get
Mm-hmm.
that Simba Cam friend that is there to celebrate you, but also there to make you reflect and think when you know maybe start to get off track a little bit. And then last point, forward thinking. When you're in the trenches, you're doing the mundane, remind yourself of why you're chasing this thing to begin with.
Thank you for the recap.
Yeah.
Now, I've been very, very patient. Please tell us your hope story.
So if you're watching, it's an unveiling, but it's my new favorite book. Got
Ooh.
it during the holiday season, and it's the best book of 2026. And if you're watching, I'm going to unveil it because it's sitting right behind Hope Not Notes. And it is a book that was dedicated to Aunt Brandy and Uncle Dylan from one of our nieces.
Wow.
And if you are a long time listener, this is one of our nieces, and we talked about her before, that over the summer she wrote basically a list of, I wake up at this time, I drink orange juice at this time, I jump rope at this time, I eat breakfast at this time, I work out at this time, I take a nap at this time. I did like
Her
completely
summer
structured,
schedule.
all on her own.
Yeah.
She did that. So,
Talk about a high performer for being 10 years old.
such a high performer.
Yeah.
I didn't write a book till I was in my mid 20s, late 20s. She wrote it before what, turning
I think she was 10. Like
10?
she was, yeah, before she was 10.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And it's autographed. I'm not going to show you the autograph because we are going to protect the author's name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she handed it to us. It's called Pain is Weakness Leaving the Body. It's autographed, dedicated to Aunt Brady and Uncle Dylan. And it says, check out their YouTube channel, Hope Not Nope.
Mm-hmm.
So she gave us a shout out in her book. And I'm going to just read a couple sections of this
Yes.
because it's so good. It is so good. Do you want to play a little game? Sure. Okay, let's play a game I call Sprint. Sprint. So the instructions are get a timer, run across your yard. Once you started the time, after that, eat protein. Start on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, go. And I like what she did there because it says start on the count of 3. And she put 3, 2, 1. So if you wait for the 2, 1, go, you're gone.
You're already 3 steps behind.
You're roasted.
Yeah. Go on 3.
You're last. Was that fun? Yeah, awesome. If you're ever bored, just play Sprint. If you're ever bored, just go Sprint.
Yeah, go play Sprint.
I love this. What did your timer say when you got back? That's what your time is. You want to play again? No.
Neither do I if I'm sprinting.
And I love that because if you sprinted and you raced and you gave full effort, you don't want to do it again. That means you played the game right.
It reminds me of, we did a sprint contest the entire distance of like a football field over the summer. And at the end, we all just collapsed. We're like, no, we will not be doing that again.
Yeah. So then it goes on. Okay, you want to play something different? Yeah. Okay, let's play jumper. What's jumper? Each person gets a jump rope. You jump as many times as you can. Set the timer. How many jumps did you get in that time? You get to go head to head with your friend. How'd you play? Did you win? How'd your friend do? Now, if you can, go eat some protein. And then, oh, I love this part. If you're wondering, protein is meat. But if you have some protein bars and you're 10 or older, you can eat a whole bar. If you're 10 or younger, maybe split it in half. Author and illustrations.
Talk about that steak and that protein bar. I mean,
crushing it.
What an artist.
So then it goes on. It talks about if you're playing soccer, make sure you're doing some upper body workouts to stay balanced. If you're doing upper body sports, make sure you're doing lower body. And, oh, I get it. But what's protein for? Protein helps keep your muscles strong. Oh, this is so, it's not for sale. This is the only copy, and we are keeping it right here.
But we're thankful that we were able to share it with you, but we are keeping it here.
Yeah. So shout out to our niece for writing such an incredible book. And we had to shout it out here.
Yeah. And make sure you go eat some protein and maybe play some sprint.
Sprint, jumper, whatever. Get a timer. Challenge a friend. There's no reason to be bored when you can go play sprint.
Exactly.
And eat some protein.
And eat protein.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I love her.
Yes.
Well, thank you for listening to our first episode of 2026. Over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be more changes, more setup, and more protein.
More protein. Half bar, maybe a full bar. Who knows?
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Have a great week. And remember, every day is not just a day to be hopeful, but an opportunity to become hope.
The Hope Not Know podcast is meant for educational, informational, and personal development purposes only and does not constitute any health or medical advice. If you're looking for specific advice, connect with us to work with a Hope coach. The Hope Not Know podcast shall not be liable or responsible for any loss or damage allegedly arising from any information or suggestions in this podcast.